Welcome back, everybody, to Pick and Roll. Thank you for your patience in this start time here as we get ready for tonight's NBA slate for Tuesday. And we do have a free pick for the viewers to consider tailing today. We had a winning day yesterday, a decent start to the week. So hopefully we can keep that going today as well. If you cashed in yesterday, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're ready for today's show, also make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing for daily content here on weekdays on the Board YouTube channel, The Hammers NBA content division. Okay, so only 3 games on the slate proved to be maybe a little bit more difficult to navigate, especially considering the injuries associated with the matchup that we're going to. But there's enough confidence from Pips to make this play here on Joel Embiid as the Sixers host the Denver Nuggets. We're going to go Joel Embiid over 32.5 points for minus 115 odds at BetMGM. You can find us at a couple of places, but minus 115 is the best in market on Joel. All right, so everybody in the starting five for the Denver Nuggets is questionable. They are not coming off a back-to-back. Everyone's well rested. Every injury, me and Pitts just talked about it pre-show, is kind of like a bit of a fake injury, like one that's in the old NBA would just be listed as rest, but nonetheless, Pips, you did your best to navigate the injury news. How come you still want to go with Joel Embiid here?
So first off, I think they should play. Like there is no reason for them not to play. As you said, they played 2 days ago. Pretty easy, comfortable win against the Pacers. No one played any huge minutes in that game, and yeah, I just think this should be like a spot for them to play. And but even if they are not playing, it's Denver, and your Embiid will still be aggressive. And I will see probably DeAndre Jordan at the 5, which will be great for Embiid. He should be able to cover this in 3 quarters against DeAndre Jordan. But nonetheless, so interesting part about this, yeah, Embiid averaged 35 points this season, and we see 32 and a half line in one of the matchups where he will be at the best of himself. Last season, Embiid had the highest usage game of the season against the Denver Nuggets. No surprisings there. So this season, Jokic has 38% offensive usage, and he averaged 35 points on it. That game against the net, Jokic, he had 48% usage. So every other possession was going through him. That's insane. This season, when we look at the Washington Wizards series, 3 games he averaged 44 points. Yet he only had 41% usage. Last game against the Jokic, he had 48% usage. So what comes close to this? 45% usage against Hornets this season, still not 48 points. For 48%, only 45 points usage against Hornets. He scored 42 points. Whenever Embiid sees 40% usage or higher, we are looking at 40% of 40-point games almost every time. And yeah, like 48% last season. So if he plays tonight, he should smash this spot. And he actually looked pretty amazing last game, last night against my Houston Rockets. He was in foul trouble due to Şengün playing well, but Embiid still scored 41 points in only 31 minutes. So yeah, and that defense will be probably similar to something Denver Nuggets will play, and that will be single coverage against Jokic, just trying to let him shoot over him, and the same similar stuff we saw last season.
Yeah, it's a small spread today. It's 2.5 to 3 on the spread in this game. So if the Nuggets players are playing, then this should be a close enough game where Embiid gets a ton of minutes. If the Nuggets rest a bunch of players, Joel Embiid is pretty blowout proof. As you said, he's going up against DeAndre Jordan, and Embiid gets the entire first quarter and the entire third quarter in his minutes. So even if there is a big discrepancy in scoreline in the fourth quarter, Joel Embiid should still get enough minutes here to go over the 32.5 line that we have here, courtesy of at PipsNBA on Twitter. Okay, so there's the one play for today. As I said, it's a more difficult slate. So just the one play for today. Let's go ahead and recap yesterday's bets. And it was a winning day. Perhaps we have a little bit of good fortune where we got one of the bets at FanDuel. So even though one leg of our Wizards and Pistons SGP was voided, it still cashes as a winning bet because the other two parts of the SGP did go over. Honestly, it kind of helped the bet, helped these two at least, or at least Jaden Ivey get more touches, but it cashes at minus 169 odd. So it gives us 0.6 of a unit. The losing play was on Trae Young and Devin Vassell. The winning play as well was on Nick Claxton under 27.5 PRA. Even overtime, couldn't get Nick Claxton over that line there. I guess not much to really discuss from the Wizards game. I don't think anybody wants to relive a Pistons win. But why don't we go to Nick Claxton? What did you see from the Miami Heat side of things, or just the game in general, for Nick Claxton to get 42 minutes, I think it was, and still stay under this line?
But from this, I can 100% be sure that you haven't watched or pay attention to the game because Nick Claxton had 22 PRAs in the first half
Really?
and played
I was I
21
was I was
minutes in
busy
the
with the
second
Raptors
half
yesterday. He
and
hit
get
22 first. Sorry. Um.
yep.
All right. So when I looked. It was the start of overtime, and he was really close. I'm like, shit, he's really close going to overtime. So I guess we got. I guess we got. I guess we got really fortunate that he did go. What happened in the second half that
I
he
I
stayed
I
under?
would say like he was supposed to play 32 minutes for by projecting minutes, and he got 42 and still stayed well under the line. I would say that we got lucky. The thing is, first half, Miami Heat scored 33 points. They shot 11 for 42 from the field. So every possession was a rebounding
Rebound.
opportunity. Like he had 11 rebounds in the first half because Miami Heat didn't make any buckets. And also out of those 11, Claxton was sitting out for like 4 minutes in the first half, and they scored like half of it when he was on the bench. So when he was on the court in the first half, they missed, I think it's 85% of the shots. So he get plenty rebounding opportunities. So yeah, this one of the all-time greats cashes because like I said, dude had 22 and a halftime, played 20 additional minutes for the rest of the game. So he had zero in third and played 9 minutes. He had zero PRS. So when we were coming to the fourth, I was like, okay, maybe this has a chance. And yeah, it cashed and it was insane. I got so many DMs from the people from the stream, just sweating it out, and yeah, it was great win at the end, but a sweaty one for sure.
All right. Well, with the win there, we had the two wins. The losing play was on Devin Vassell's side of his SGP. Devin Vassell's got to be creeping into ban list territory here because I feel like every time we bet him, he has a night like this. He went 2 of 11, 0 of 5 from 3, only finished with the 4 points. Last season, Vassell was a really good, like you had a lot of success picking Devin Vassell for bets. This season, though, he's definitely diminished in quality and points. And you mentioned that yesterday with the line being lower, and you think it's getting too low. But yeah, what is going on with Devin Vassell this season?
I mean, he had some good stretches, but if we take out last 3 games, he has really good numbers. But last 3 games, he completely fell apart. I really don't know why. He had wide open looks, like all 5 threes, 4 were wide open looks. He missed a layup, he missed a dunk. Yeah, I don't know, like it's insane. He also got benched in the like first half. They were down 35. Uh, Pop decided to start the second half with bench players. Then he brought him back in. Like Marcel played like 18 minutes out of first 36, and then played the entire fourth quarter and took only wild field goal attempts in the entire fourth because Wembanyama was cooking. Yeah, I was actually wanted to do Trey Young over 10 and a half assists. Before the show, the line got steam a ton, and I decided to go with this instead, which kind of poor result. At the time, I didn't think it was because the line for Vassell looked terrible, very, very low for the matchup he had. Hawks are terrible. They showed, even though they won. They showed that they're not great, not good on defense, but still, like terrible shooting night for the Vassell.
Yeah, 2 of 11. I mean, he's never get covered with that. It just he had plenty of
Yeah.
shots, even despite playing pretty poorly. But 2 of 11 can't do anything. But winning day nonetheless. So we move with the half unit of profit. Discussion piece before we end off today here. The Utah Jazz have all of a sudden turned into one of the best teams in the NBA. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they have won 6 games in a row in incredible fashion here. They beat the Sixers by 11, the Bucks by 16, the Nuggets by 13, the Raptors by 32, the Lakers by just a 7, and then they beat the Pacers by 27. That's their last 6 games. Their only loss in the last 10 games was to the Boston Celtics. Also featured in this win streak is a 37-point win over the Mavericks and an 8-point win over the Miami Heat. They have just been blowing the best teams in the NBA away lately. What has been the catalyst of this sudden change to the Utah Jazz, who are all of a sudden right in the thick of things in the Western Conference playoff picture?
Obviously, the most important one is Lauri Markkanen back and being healthy. He is insane. Like last when we first got there and started playing well, we were all like, he's on a good run. Now it's just standard games for him, like to score 30 and 10 and being very, 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 very efficient. And yeah, Lauri Markkanen just insane. Colin Sexton over the last couple of weeks is playing insanely well. He's like, dude, average. I just pulled the number, so I have a correct number. But dude, average over the last 2 months, average 20 points while playing 24 minutes a game. That's just mind
Wow.
blowing, and it's on 65% true shooting. Colin Sexton averaged 20 points in 24 minutes, average on 65% true shooting. Finally, some good run from Colin Sexton. I honestly like when you look back, like even with the Cavs and everything, like he always was uh, a pretty, I would say, efficient volume scorer. He didn't do much of anything else, but like running this as a sixth man was always like my idea of Colin Sexton. And now even when he is starting, he's still scoring amazing. Like his numbers lately are just insane. Like he's doing it also against the good teams, and that doesn't matter. But over the last, I think, like 15 or 20 games, he scored 20 plus in 80%, and he always played. The most interesting game was when he played the Bucks, and he played only 18 minutes and scored 20 points, which is insane. Yeah, but yeah, great run. But they are well coached. I spoke
Yeah.
about it a lot of times on the show. They have one of the best coaches. The stuff he comes up with every night on the defensive side are just great stuff, great stuff. And I won't go into the details of stuff, but he's well ahead of the curve for a young coach.
Yeah, Will Hardy comes from the Greg Popovich coaching tree, had success with the Spurs. Yeah, he's a very, very good coach. I want to go back to Markkanen briefly here. We spoke about him on the show before. We've kind of had this conversation, but just seeing it again, like he's been unbelievably good this season again. 2 years ago with the Cavaliers, he was basically discarded by the Bulls, then discarded by the Cavs. What is it about Markkanen's game that the Cavaliers 2 seasons ago, a year and a half ago, couldn't see, but the Jazz have just been able to unlock to such a tremendous degree?
They put him just as a spot up shooter. Like yeah, anyone that watched any Euro basketball or the games for Finland when Lauri played, like even like 4 years ago when he was still in a role player mode in the NBA, when he got to the Eurobasket or playing for Finland, he would put 30 points a game with European rules, and every player in NBA would say it's more difficult to score there, and he made it look so easy. I remember one game, I think it was quarterfinals for the Euro basketball, Croatia against Finland. Okay, before the game, everyone on our national team talked like we need to stop Lauri Markkanen. We only need to stop Lauri Markkanen. Everyone will focus on stopping Lauri Markkanen. Okay, game is on. Lauri dropped 44 on us and we lose. Like Lauri is just yeah. The Hardy just decided, okay, I'll try to figure out how to best use this guy, and he finds the way to do it, and now he looks unstoppable. And I would say full credits to him for the coach because, yeah. And also, this team is. I'll honestly say, like, if you take a look at their roster, just like John Collins, I don't rate him highly as a player.
No, neither do
Simone
I.
Fontecchio, I don't think he will start on any team in the league, and I don't think he will play any minutes on any team in the league. In Europe. He was probably one of the best players in EuroLeague every year, but not a starter NBA caliber player. That's it. We have like Kelly Olynyk, who I highly rate as a player. He's playing like 50 minutes a night. Walker Kessler playing like 20 minutes off the bench. I'm still confused why John Collins is playing over him,
Yes.
but he started to starting Chris Dunn, who is, I mean, like he's a good player actually, but not for the modern NBA because he can shoot. Because he's a great playmaker, great defensive player, but can't shoot, so it's difficult. He's starting him and doesn't look like a problem. Clarkson off the bench, of course. Kejonte George is a rookie. O'Shea Agbaji is very young player. It's insane to see how many games they win against good teams with this kind of roster. So as I said, coach is the goat for
Yeah.
doing this.
It's kind of so now that they're winning games like this, they were turning into sellers. They said that nobody on the roster was untouchable, including Markkanen. Do you think any of that's going to change, or do you think they're going to keep to that? And if they get a good offer, they're going to make a trade?
It's very interesting to decide because if you take a look at their roster, like it's not like they have a bunch of young players. I mean, they do have O'Shea Agbaji, Kejonte George, and Walker Kessler, and that's it for now. Like, so I don't know. They are kind of in the midway between competing and selling, but I think they should sell in this point.
And we talked about how great Markkanen would fit on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh
I
man,
mean, he'll fit great. Like he'll fit great on any team in the league.
yeah.
Like any team in the league needs his size, his rebounding, and his scoring efficiency and shooting.
I mean, like
But
imagine him on the
he does
Sixers
fit
too.
in.
If the Sixers could get him and put him instead of Tobias Harris, wow, like he really
Yeah,
elevates any team. Like if you're on the cusp of contention, you are a bona fide like contender if you have Markkanen coming into your team at the deadline here. I think a lot of teams should be on knocking on the door here. He's probably not even on he's probably on a very team friendly contract as well because he was coming off of the time with the Cavaliers, or coming off time with the Bulls. But yeah, he's making $17 million this year and $18 million next year, and it's partially guaranteed for next year. Like it's remarkable the rise of the player, and any team in the NBA should be trying to make a move for a contract like this and a player that is this good, who had all NBA
yeah.
considerations, was an All Star
He
last
he's
year, been amazing this year.
he is currently an all NBA player.
Agreed,
That's without any
absolutely.
question.
Absolutely agree. All right. That will do it for today's show. Remember to hit that like button if you enjoyed and you're tailing the bet that we have for today, and subscribe to keep up to date with all the content we have here on the Board HQ. The play for today is Joel Embiid over 32.5 points. Pips looked at minus 115 odds at BetMGM as the Sixers host the Denver Nuggets. Go back earlier to the show if you want the full reasoning behind that, but that will do it from us. Thanks so much for watching today. We really appreciate the support. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, for more from Pick and Roll with a better slate for sure. And we hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.